Many people search for power outside of themselves. They believe it comes from wealth, status, or the ability to control others. But there is a power far greater than all of these combined. It is a superpower that each of us already carries, the gift of life itself. When you wake up in the morning and draw your first conscious breath, you are already holding the greatest treasure. Yet, because it is given so freely, we often forget its value. We treat life as ordinary, when in truth it is extraordinary. Think about it. A beating heart does not require your command. Lungs continue to breathe even when you are asleep. Every moment, billions of cells within you work in harmony to keep you alive. This is not chance, it is a miracle. The gift of life is your foundation. But what matters most is how you use it. Do you let days slip away unnoticed, or do you shape them into something meaningful? Do you complain about what you lack, or do you give thanks for what you already hold? True strength is not in fighting others, but in recognizing the sacredness of your own existence. When you understand that life itself is your superpower, your vision changes. Obstacles become lessons, time becomes precious, people become teachers, and you realize that every breath is an opportunity to grow. So do not wait for a perfect day. Do not wait for permission. The gift of life has already been placed in your hands. Use it wisely, honor it fully, and live with the awareness that your very existence is your greatest power. When people hear the word superpower, their imagination often drifts toward extraordinary abilities, flying through the skies, lifting impossible weights, or commanding the elements with a single thought. But what if I told you that the greatest superpower does not require comic book heroes, nor does it belong only to the legends of old? It belongs to you right now, in this very moment. It is the simple yet profound reality that you are alive. Think carefully about this, before you accomplish anything, before you own anything, before you even dream of anything. The foundation of it all is the fact that you are breathing, existing and conscious. The greatest treasure is not found in the outside world, it is already resting within you. To be alive is to hold in your hands the rarest of gifts, and yet, because it is so constant and accessible, it is often the first thing we forget to appreciate. Life is the ultimate superpower, because it is the source from which all other powers, dreams and achievements arise. Without life, nothing else is possible. Imagine a person who has all the wealth in the world, but has no breath left within them. That wealth is useless. Imagine a person who controls kingdoms yet loses the heartbeat that sustains them. Their control vanishes instantly. The true power does not lie in possessions or authority, because these can be taken away in a single moment. The one power that cannot be replaced, the one force upon which everything else depends, is life itself. It is the silent, invisible foundation behind every act of creativity, every connection we make, every experience we taste. And when we begin to see life in this way, the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. A glass of water becomes precious. A sunrise becomes sacred. A conversation with a loved one becomes priceless. But here lies the paradox. Because life is given to us freely, we often take it for granted. A child does not marvel at their breath. An adult rarely pauses to appreciate their heartbeat. We live as if tomorrow is guaranteed, as if time will wait for us to wake up and pay attention. This forgetfulness weakens us. It makes us chase after shadows, while the greatest light is already shining within us. This is why so many people feel powerless despite having everything. They do not lack possessions, they lack awareness. They do not lack opportunities, they lack presence. To recognize that life itself is the ultimate superpower is to awaken from this forgetfulness. It is to realize that you already hold more than you thought, that the power you are searching for outside is already pulsing through your veins. The shift is not in gaining more, but in seeing differently. Think about how powerful this recognition can be. When you see life as your superpower, your attitude changes. Instead of asking, what do I still lack? You begin to ask, what can I create with what I already have? Instead of envying others, you begin to honor the miracle of your own existence. Instead of waiting for a perfect moment, you begin to live fully in this one. This awareness strengthens resilience. When failures come, you see them as temporary because life itself is still with you. When difficulties arise, you face them with courage because the very fact of your existence is proof that you are capable of rising again. To be alive means you already carry infinite potential, waiting only for your awareness to awaken it. And when you live with this recognition, even the simplest day becomes extraordinary, because every breath, every step, and every choice carries the weight of a miracle. How often do you pause to notice your breath? We live each day carried forward by a rhythm so constant, so silent, that it escapes our awareness. Yet within every inhale and every exhale lies one of the greatest miracles of existence. You are not required to command your lungs to expand, nor to instruct your heart to beat. These functions occur without your conscious control, as though an invisible intelligence is caring for you at every moment. While you sleep, while you work, while you laugh or weep, this quiet force continues to sustain you. And because it is always there, because it asks nothing in return, we rarely honor it. But imagine, for just a moment, if your breath suddenly stopped. How quickly would every ambition, every plan, every worry dissolve? In that instant, you would understand, nothing is more vital, nothing is more miraculous than the gift of breath. Consider the vast complexity of the human body, and how effortlessly it carries out its work. Without your awareness, your blood is circulating, delivering oxygen to billions of cells. Your nervous system is transmitting signals faster than lightning. Your immune system is guarding you against countless unseen threats. Each of these functions happens with exquisite precision, and yet we move through life as though this harmony were nothing unusual. In truth, the body is not just a biological machine, it is a universe in itself, alive with intelligence and coordination. If even a single process faltered for too long, the entire system would collapse. And yet here you are, reading, breathing, existing, carried forward by a body that serves you tirelessly. To see this clearly is to awaken to awe. The miracle is not somewhere else, hidden in distant places. The miracle is happening inside you right now, in every beat of your heart. The tragedy is not that miracles are rare, it is that we are blind to them. We are so preoccupied with external achievements, with chasing after goals, that we forget to marvel at what is already present. People often say they want proof of something greater than themselves, some sign of divine presence. But what greater sign could there be than this silent breath that continues without your control? What greater evidence of life's mystery than the fact that your body maintains itself even when you are completely unaware? When you are caught in despair, when you feel powerless, pause for a moment and place your hand on your chest. Feel the heartbeat beneath your skin. Listen to the breath filling your lungs. That rhythm is the reminder. As long as life is moving through you, you are already connected to the deepest power of existence. When you begin to see every breath as a miracle, your perspective on life changes. You stop treating time carelessly, for you realize that each inhalation is a gift that will not last forever. Gratitude deepens, not only for grand achievements, but for simple moments, the taste of food, the warmth of sunlight, the sound of laughter. You begin to live with humility, because you recognize that your very survival does not depend solely on your willpower, but on forces far greater than your control. And this recognition invites both reverence and responsibility. Reverence, because life is sacred in its design. Responsibility, because to waste the breath you are given is to disrespect the miracle sustaining you. So every time you inhale, remember, this is not something small, this is not something ordinary. It is the universe whispering to you, You are alive. You still have time. You still have power. One of the greatest mistakes a human being can make is to believe that life is endless, that time will wait, and that tomorrow will always come. This illusion leads us to live unconsciously, letting days pass in a blur of repetition. We wake up, we rush through routines, we complain about small inconveniences, and we fall asleep without ever asking ourselves, did I truly live today? To live without awareness is to squander the rarest of treasures, the gift of life itself. If you had a diamond of immeasurable worth, you would protect it, you would cherish it, you would not leave it in the dirt. And yet what is life, if not more valuable than any diamond? The tragedy is not that people lack time, but that they fail to notice the time they already possess. Conscious living means reclaiming this awareness and treating each moment as sacred. To live consciously is to break free from the autopilot mode that modern life often imposes. Many people move like shadows through their own existence, repeating the same actions without presence, eating without tasting, walking without noticing, speaking without listening, breathing without feeling. This absence of awareness is what creates emptiness, the sense that life is slipping through one's fingers. But when awareness returns, everything changes. A simple sip of water becomes refreshing. A walk under the open sky becomes rejuvenating. A conversation with a loved one becomes unforgettable. Living consciously does not require extraordinary events. It requires ordinary events to be seen with extraordinary attention. Awareness transforms what is common into what is precious. And once this shift happens, you begin to understand that life was never lacking in meaning. It was only lacking in your presence. Valuing the gift of life also means confronting the reality of impermanence. Every breath you take brings you closer to the end of your journey, though no one knows when that final moment will arrive. Far from being a reason to despair, this truth is the key to living fully. If life were infinite, you would not value a single day. But because life is fragile, because time is fleeting, every moment carries weight. To live consciously is to live with this awareness, to know that the people you love will not be here forever, that the opportunities before you may not return, that the present is the only space where life truly happens. When this truth sinks deeply into your heart, procrastination loses its grip and excuses fade away. You stop waiting for a perfect future and begin shaping the present, because you understand that this is all you truly hold. Living consciously is not about rushing, but about presence. It is not about doing more, but about being more. When you walk, walk with awareness. When you eat, taste with gratitude. When you speak, listen deeply. These small acts create a life that is not wasted. Many people chase grand goals, imagining that fulfillment will arrive only when success is achieved, or when recognition is gained. But conscious living teaches the opposite. Fulfillment is not waiting at the finish line. It is available in each step along the way. The real danger is not failure, but forgetting to live while you are alive. To value the gift of life is to see that every sunrise is an invitation, every interaction an opportunity, every breath a reminder. The question is not whether life gives you enough. It always does. The question is whether you are awake enough to notice. Life does not become easier. It becomes more meaningful when your perspective changes. Most people look at obstacles as enemies, barriers standing between them and happiness. Yet this way of thinking creates frustration and suffering, because challenges will never stop arriving. What changes everything is not the absence of problems, but the way you perceive them. The same obstacle that defeats one person becomes the stepping stone for another. The difference lies in perspective. To one, failure is the proof of weakness. To another, failure is the beginning of wisdom. To one, pain is unfair. To another, pain is the teacher that sharpens awareness and builds resilience. Shifting perspective does not erase difficulty, but it transforms difficulty into growth. When you begin to see obstacles as invitations rather than punishments, you unlock a strength that no circumstance can take away. The same principle applies to people. Every person who enters your life has the potential to be a teacher. The kind ones remind you of compassion. The harsh ones remind you of patience. The supportive ones show you the value of encouragement. The difficult ones show you the importance of boundaries. Often we complain about those who challenge us, forgetting that their presence is shaping us into stronger, more understanding beings. If life only gave you people who agreed with you, you would never learn tolerance. If you only met those who admired you, you would never develop humility. Every interaction, pleasant or unpleasant, holds a lesson if you are willing to see it. To shift perspective is to stop asking, "Why is this person in my life?" and instead ask, "What can I learn from this person's presence?" In this way, even conflict becomes education, and even pain becomes guidance. Time too transforms when perspective changes. For many, time feels like an enemy, something that slips away too quickly, something that cannot be controlled, something that steals youth and opportunity. But when you shift your view, time becomes sacred. Instead of threatening, every second is no longer a loss but a gift. The awareness of time's passing is what makes each moment precious. Imagine holding a flower in your hand. If you believed it would last forever, you would not value its fragrance or beauty. It is precisely because the flower is fragile, because it will not remain, that you lean closer and cherish it fully. Life is the same. When you recognize that time is not infinite, you treat it with reverence. Ordinary days become treasures. Simple moments become sacred. Instead of fearing the passage of time, you begin to honor it, using it wisely and with gratitude. When obstacles become lessons, people become teachers, and time becomes sacred. Life itself becomes your practice ground. You stop living as a victim of circumstances and start living as a student of existence. Every event, every encounter, every breath carries meaning. When you shift the way you see, even suffering gains a new light. Not as something to escape, but as something that deepens your strength and understanding. This is the power of perspective. It turns burdens into wisdom, strangers into guides, and fleeting moments into timeless experiences. And the beauty of this transformation is that nothing external needs to change. The same life, the same challenges, the same passing days remain. What changes is the lens through which you view them. And with a shift in perspective, the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and life itself becomes a sacred path of learning. To be alive is already to hold the greatest gift, but the question that remains is, what will you do with it? Many people walk through life as though they were spectators, waiting for meaning to reveal itself, waiting for permission to begin, waiting for someone else to give them purpose. But life is not meant to be spent in waiting. It is meant to be lived with intention. A gift has no value if it remains unopened. In the same way, your life remains unfulfilled if you do not step forward and make use of it. Using your gift wisely means recognizing that every choice you make, every action you take, is shaping the story of your existence. You cannot control how long the gift will last, but you can decide how deeply, how consciously, and how gratefully you live it. Gratitude is the foundation of wise living. When you are grateful, you no longer chase life as though it owes you something. Instead, you see that you are already rich beyond measure. Gratitude transforms the ordinary into the extraordinary. The food on your table becomes a blessing, not an entitlement. The people around you become gifts, not burdens. Even the challenges you face are seen as opportunities, not punishments. When you wake in the morning with a heart of gratitude, you begin the day already victorious, because nothing external can take away the richness of your awareness. Gratitude softens arrogance, it heals comparison, and it opens your eyes to abundance that was always present. To use your gift of life wisely means to pause each day, even for a moment, and say thank you for this breath, this chance, this moment. Such simple acknowledgement carries immense power. Awareness is the second pillar of wise living. Without awareness, gratitude fades and purpose is forgotten. To live with awareness is to recognize that every action has consequence, that every word spoken leaves an imprint, that every moment is alive with possibility. Many people misuse their gift of life because they are unconscious. They repeat destructive habits. They speak without kindness. They live without noticing. Awareness interrupts this cycle. It asks you to see more clearly, to observe your thoughts, to notice your emotions, to witness your patterns. Awareness is the light that reveals whether you are using your time wisely or wasting it, whether you are nurturing your relationships or neglecting them, whether you are truly alive or simply existing. To live with awareness is to hold yourself accountable, not out of guilt, but out of respect for the preciousness of life. Purpose is what gives direction to gratitude and awareness. Without purpose, gratitude becomes passive, and awareness becomes overwhelming. Purpose gathers the scattered pieces of your life and aligns them towards something meaningful. It does not need to be grand. It does not need to impress others. Purpose can be as simple as bringing kindness into your home, as humble as serving with integrity at your work, as personal as dedicating yourself to growth and learning. What matters is that your actions are not random but intentional. Living with purpose turns life from a series of empty days into a journey of significance. It allows you to use your energy, not in distraction but in creation, not in regret but in contribution. To use your gift of life wisely is to wake each day with the understanding, I have been given this rare chance, I will not waste it. So when you look at your life, remember this: you already carry within you the greatest of all superpowers, the simple yet profound gift of being alive. Do not underestimate it. Do not waste it. With each breath, you are given another chance to grow, to learn, to love, and to shape the world around you. Obstacles will come, time will pass, people will challenge you, and nothing will remain forever. But the awareness of this truth is not meant to make you fearful. It is meant to make you awake. Awake to the miracle that you are here. Awake to the responsibility of using your days wisely. Awake to the possibility of living with gratitude, awareness, and purpose. Every moment is an invitation. Every breath is a reminder. Every day is a question. Life asks you, what will you do with me today? And the answer is not found in grand speeches, nor in distant dreams, but in the way you choose to live right now, with presence, with humility, with strength, with kindness. Your superpower is not hidden. It is not waiting to be discovered in the future. It is here, pulsing through your veins, alive in every heartbeat. The question is whether you will recognize it, whether you will honor it, and whether you will finally live as though your very existence is the miracle it truly is.